Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, July the 31st. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. It's the end of the month, so we're having a monthly wrap-up with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. And the usual reminder, end of the month, I hope this entire month you always had your risk management in place when you were trading and you never lost more than you were willing to lose on any one single trade. And just to let folks know, I'm okay. Got a call from Seeker. Shout out to Seeker. Wanted to make sure everything was okay. This is for, I didn't put out a video on Monday or Tuesday. Just life sometimes gets in the way. So, life may get in the way tomorrow or the next day too, so we'll just have to wait and see. In fact, in Walmal, he had some weather getting his way. I think you lost power there, didn't you, Walmal, the other day?
I lost power actually 2 days in a row where it cut out and then it would come back and then it cut out again. It's just we're having some really wicked storms running through the area in the late afternoon, or what I like to call pre-evening, because it's not evening yet and it's not really afternoon anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just lots of wicked storms running through the area.
Right. And so since it is the monthly wrap-up, we're looking at the monthly chart here. Right now, we are 203 pips above the open. We are 195 off the high and 234 off the low. And if you look left on a monthly chart, you can see we're cutting across a couple, or inside a couple of upper wick zones from a month ago. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 months ago. And then we're also in the upper wick zone of a year ago. So it's kind of interesting. We might even close July the same place we closed July a year ago, which would be at 128.38. So we're just 10 pips above that at the moment. And if we drop down to the weekly, we're 8 pips below that weekly open, 41 off the high, 40 off the low. So we're pretty much at the midpoint of the week, and all gaps have filled. And then looking at the daily, the opening range for the week, we're still within that opening range. We're way above the opening range for the month, 139 pips at the moment. And you know what's interesting, Walmal? Today was a red news day, and it looks like we got an inside bar today, and we haven't broken out of the weekly range.
Yeah, I think that I got a feeling that inside bar, though, is not going to go and last very long, though, because at 2 o'clock Eastern time, we have the Fed goes and drops their federal funds rate. So that always adds some excitement to the day. So it doesn't take much for it to get outside that bar, that's for sure.
Yeah, because the ranges are so daggone stinking low. Yeah, in fact, we had an inside bar yesterday. So we'll probably, based on the news coming up, it looks like he goes short at 128.20. Look for a long at 128.66. And take your pips if they present themselves. Today, wow. In fact, Seeker had said something to me. If you look at dollar yen, it's down to 150. And so from that short, I had called it, what was it like? I think it was like 160.28 level or something. You'd be looking at 1,000 pips. Yeah, I think it was somewhere around 160.20. Yeah, it looks like 160.28. Wow, I remember that number.
You remember the number because you wish you would have gone short. You called it and you didn't do it.
I wish I would have gone short and stuck it out. Would have been nice. But looks like the yen and New Zealand pairs and Australian pairs have just gone crazy. What happened down under today?
I have no idea. I did not see anything.
Did the Bank of Japan do something? Because the beast, the pound yen, 513 pip range. Dollar yen 411, New Zealand 216, Euro yen 434, Swiss yen 391, Canadian yen 278, Australian yen 276. That's a lot of range.
Yeah. The only thing that's happened out there was 2:30 Eastern time, 2:30 this morning Eastern time. There was a press conference from the Bank of Japan. So I'm not sure what was said.
They must have done something with the rate. They had to. Wow.
Yeah, there was nothing. There's nothing planned. There's nothing up on FOREX Factory of them dropping a rate or anything like that.
They must have intervened, though.
They may have. May have done some type of intervention, which is surprising because the Bank of Japan doesn't usually do that. If you would have told me, for instance, China went and did that, and I would absolutely believe it because they intervene every day, it seems. But Bank of Japan usually doesn't.
Bank of Japan raises interest rates.
There you go.
Second time since 2007.
Yeah, like I said, they don't intervene. They don't do much.
Wow. I'd probably put a smile on some traders' faces.
I'm sure it did.
And I wonder how many
Sure
and how many accounts got wiped out. Okay, so let's see. It looks like we're approaching the weekly open. We're about 5 pips away on the pound. The rat zone, there is no rat zone to trade yet. As far as the pivot, Bambino flex indicator called short, and it looks like that one paid off. If you took a short, a couple H4 bars ago, price near R1, the pivot trading plan's calling a short, and price near the pivot was calling a short. On the last H4 bar, price came across that pivot at 28.40. So actually it's 409. So call it 41 if you want. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Going to the missed pivots chart, we've taken out the daily. We've taken out this week's pivot. We still have last week's pivot open. So we've got 2 week misses in the month of July so far. But if price were to spike, we could take them both out. As far as the monthly pivot, we've taken out the monthly. And we have to go back to 2022 December for a missed pivot. And we've touched the upper wick zone a couple times and got rejected. We've been in and out of the lower wick zone. That's for the previous day. Oh, somebody was asking me to explain top scraping. We can look at this chart here. We've got the 1 hour chart here on the wick zone. You see this candle here, there's the, it's actually the high, but I just call it top scraping because you see here, price went up and passed it on the last hour and then dropped through it. And then on this hour, price went up but didn't exceed the previous hour's high, and then it came right back down through this level here. So in fact, that level is 128.52. So that's where I'd be looking to put shorts on, and you're not really looking at the H1 candle color anymore. Switch over to the M30. You can see here it pretty much looks the same, but if you look left at 128.52.53 level, you can see here the same thing happened on this M30 candle. So you just ride that short, take a few pips, or if you want to ride it much longer and take your chances, you can. But that's how that works. And on the lower side, it's just the opposite. You see the low here, you see that low over there, you see all these wicks, and right there, bottom scraping, and then it's almost where if you see that setup, say at M30, you could drop down to M1 and look for a flip-flop box to get you through this level right here. So that would probably sync up with the edge trading that we've talked about a few times. So if you look at it here, you'd see you'd be trading the edge of that range. Which was right in this level here. So it's just another way of looking at it. Since this is end of the month, let's take a look here. Monthly range for July 429, which surpassed 2021. So yeah, so you can see we've got some pretty low ranges over the past 20 years here in the month of July. Must be that summer thing, huh, Walmal?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's just crazy just how low these are. It's funny because Monday we had a range of 81 pips, and I'm saying, wow, a big day. And it's like, it's not a big day. It's just that we've become so accustomed to it being so small, the ranges, that we think it's a big day.
Yeah, and just for a heads up, for the year-to-date accumulated range, we only have 745 pips, which is the lowest over 20 years. So if we don't add to that range today, that's the lowest in 20 years. And once again, looking at the month, you can see we're inside that upper wick zone from the previous month. We did exceed the previous month's range. It says buyers are still in strong control. We're above the previous mid, and above the previous pivot. And we have a higher high, higher low for the month. So it'll be interesting how we finish out this month and what happens in August. Have you observed anything, Walmal?
Just how small these ranges are, and I'm making pips, but I'm not making them as easily as I would like, and you just have to be careful and just take your pips where you can take them, and make sure that you're doing like what I said a couple weeks ago when we explained edge trading. Make sure that you're actually going out there and implementing. Some people may even call that top down analysis. Yeah, that's fine. You can call it that too. It's just, I think if you can do it, you can do it all. Do it on a 5 minute or 1 minute, 15-minute chart. You don't have to go all the way out to a daily chart. I think it actually, some ways, if you just go and take even a 1 minute chart, make it as big as you can on your screen, and then condense it all down. In other words, hit the minus bar and just so you go and compress it. You can see those areas, shade those areas. You now know where your edges are, and then go back and bring it back up, and then look for your flip flops or whatever method you're using. But look for them occurring in those shaded areas.
Yeah, and you know what? We're out of time.
We're at
So,
time.
fellow traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade.